Alright, hello. So this video is about how to back up your data after your Nexus 6P has gone into Bootloop. So as you can see, Nexus, it powers up, shows the Google, but afterwards it's going to flash the Google again. And then it's going to do so for a while. Alright, so what we're going to do is, okay, first of all, if you guys have a warranty, if you bought it under 1 year, then you can call Google or Huawei and ask if they can send you a replacement. But for those who are unlucky and don't have a warranty or the warranty expired, I would recommend trying other methods that you find online. This is the last resort to try to recover your data. Let me show you. So another thing you can do is you try to hold the down button and wait until an Android figure pops up. Alright, and then you can go into recovery mode, and from there you can try to save your data. But for those who can't do it, like me, for those that when they click the power button it goes back to Google, then you have to try the last resort way. So what we have to do is we're going to have to open this Nexus 6P up and remove the motherboard from the casing. That's what I found out helped. So what you need is a hair dryer or heat gun. You need an X-ACTO blade. You need some guitar picks or these picks. You need a plus screwdriver, and you might need these lifts. Alright, so you can get these online, maybe Amazon or eBay. But what we want to do is open this Nexus 6P up so we can back up our data. Okay, using Google Drive or whatever. Alright, so first thing we need to do is remove this glass part of the phone, and this glass part is actually detachable, but you would need to use a lot of heat to loosen up the glue holding it together. So for demonstrative purposes, I already used the hair dryer to soften up the glue. And what next you need to do is take the X-ACTO blade, and right where you see this line is that connects to the glass part, you want to dig your X-ACTO blade in there and try to lift up this glass part. Alright, and again, you need to use a lot of heat. It just seems effortless to me because I've done this before. And then it should lift right off, but do it more carefully. And here you'll see 2 screws right here, and we won't touch that for now. What we'll do next is we'll go down to the bottom here, we'll apply more heat, and after a while, oh yeah, be careful because the body is metal, it might be really hot after you heat it up. So maybe use some oven mitts or something to hold on to the phone. Alright, so after you've loosened the glue, what you do is you take your X-ACTO blade, and where the line is connected to this bottom flap, you want to dig your X-ACTO blade underneath there and peel this part up. Alright, again, it seems effortless because I've done this before. The first time it will be hard. Alright, so under that you'll see 4 more screws. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to loosen up all 6 of these screws. It's still under Bootloop. You see the Google sign keeps popping up. Alright, so what we're going to do, unscrew these screws. Alright, keep these screws where it is. Alright, now next, what we want to do is remove the entire back from the screen, alright? So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to apply more heat around the perimeter. Again, it's going to be hot, so be careful, and eventually you'll be able to, with lifts, let's use a pick. With lifts, you would be able to get underneath the body. Alright. Peel from one corner. Insert these picks inside, underneath. And you want to use one pick as a anchor, and the other one will be used to slide the rest of the phone. Alright. And okay, one is the anchor. Alright, and the entire body should come out. Oh. One last thing, you have to remove this SIM card holder. Alright, so I'm going to get the SIM card holder really quick. Alright, if you can't find your SIM card pin, you can use a regular pin. Stick it in there. Alright, and after you remove that, the whole body should come out. Alright, and this you can put aside. Here you'll see the phone's battery. You see this is the motherboard. These are the buttons for your phone, whatnot. But what we want to focus on is this metal piece here and this screw over here. So what you want to do is you want to loosen this screw over here. Alright, place it aside and take a lift this entire piece off. Alright. Then what you want to do is you want to remove this screw. Alright. Basically you want to move the motherboard away from the case. Away from the casing, because I feel like it has something to do with heat distribution issue, which is causing this boot loop to happen. Alright, anyways, we'll remove that screw later. What we also want to do is remove these screws and these screws. Alright. And right now I can feel the phone getting a little hot because, again, I think it's a heat issue. But once we move this motherboard away from the casing, the boot loop should stop temporarily. Alright, move this. And okay, it's that last screw. We'll apply outward pressure and the screw should come out. Okay, now do not touch anything else. Alright, so now just lift the motherboard away from the body of the phone and we'll just wait. Alright. It might take a few cycles. I'm gonna fast forward this thing. just keep waiting, be patient. What I think needs to happen is the motherboard needs to cool down. All right, now you see the Google slowly turning into the Android, all right? And it's going to lag a little, but just be patient. Again, try to keep the motherboard away from the housing. You want to keep it cool, all right? And then it's going to speed up. Give it a while. Just be patient. And then the Android would pop up, all right? That's a good sign. And then now you go into your Google and you quickly go to Google Drive, all right? And you you can upload whatever documents, important documents you need to upload. You can go to your photos and choose. Okay, the reason why my phone's like this is because I factory resetted it thinking it would help, but it didn't. But photos, you can use settings, and then you can try to go in there to try to back everything up on Google Photos and Google Drive, all right? So this is what happens, and as long as you keep the motherboard away from the housing and keep the motherboard cool, I feel like it should function like normal, right? You can still take pictures. See, you can still take pictures. Everything's functioning normal, all right? But in case everything turns off, all right, and it goes back into the boot loop, again, just be patient. Keep the motherboard away from the casing, and it should take a while for it to boot up again. All right, so, and after that, you just follow the steps to put everything back together. You want to, okay, if this fell out, just quickly just put it back here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to return these screws where they belong. And by doing this, again, only do this after you're done, because again, you want to keep the motherboard cool. If you screw it back in, it's going to overheat again and not allow your phone to boot. All right, so I'm just going to screw everything back.
Again. So let's put it back. It also might help if you have some tweezers. So picking up these screws are a lot easier.
Again, but if you're screwing things back and the screws give some resistance, it might be in the wrong place. So you want to put in the screws that feel easy to screw in. And that's a good indication that it belongs there. All right.
I'll put this metal piece back too. Right.
And then you can return the case, the housing on top. Snap it back in. Doesn't really take much effort. But as you can see over here, my phone turned off because the motherboard probably overheated again. And
I try to turn back on. Right. Again, Google, and how are we going to go back into Bootloop again.
See, again. And oh, since you have everything pre-loosened already, you can just go back. I forgot to mention one thing. If for any reason your phone turns off and it doesn't turn back on by itself, you see where these buttons are? The power and the volume buttons? Well, they have corresponding nubs. So you can see here, these are the volume button nubs, and this is the power button nub. So you can still press onto it to turn it on that way. All right, and after you turn it on, again, you move the motherboard away from the casing, the housing. All right, so anyways, I'm just gonna finish putting this back together.
Man.
I apologize for the sloppiness because it's my first time recording it in one run. Alright, you just pop everything back. Return the screws.
Put it on here. Two up here.
And then you place the glass part back flush over here, and the bottom plastic part back flush over here. And there you go. I hope this method works for you so that you can back up your phone, but I really doubt that this Nexus 6P is usable with the motherboard out. Alright, so you'll probably have to find a new phone, but this method is just used so you can back up your important stuff like your photos and your documents, upload them on Google Drive, Google Photos, and even if you end up switching to iPhone, just like I did, you can still download the Google Photos app, Google Drive app, and still access everything that you saved in here. Alright, and good luck on everything.